Could you please explain for the attendance sheet to be filled by the participants? Yeah, Dr. Zerhon.
Good morning, all.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, I'm about to send the link, and great to have you all for today's training. Now I'll post the link. You feel it online for those of you who attended yesterday's training, and later on, I will also post the link for today's session. So you can just click on the link and fill the details of your information. And yeah, that is all.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Zerhon. So now we can start.
Okay, great. So welcome to all to the training of today. First, thank you for the participation of the day of yesterday, for the first day of HEC-DSS training. So at first, I will do a little bit a recap of what we did yesterday. Let me share the screen. Okay, so yesterday we have seen briefly an overview of the software of the program, how to download it, the link, how we structured the main window of the DSS with all the bars, file, path name filter, and so on. We have seen the main tabs, how to access the current file information. We have seen the different menus in the top part of the screen, the file menu, the edit menu, an overview of the view menu, the display, groups, data entry menu, tools, and the help menu. Then we have seen the data types that we can store in the DSS that are basically time series data and the paired data. We have seen how to catalog and filter the records, in particular through this path name list. We have seen how it works with the path name filters. Then
Hello? Hello?
okay, sorry, can you hear
okay.
me? Okay,
Yes.
I lost the connection I'm using now. Okay, we'll share the screen again, sorry.
Okay.
Okay, can you see the screen?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So I was going to say what were we doing yesterday about the in particular the cataloging and filtering of the records. We've done some brief exercise about the three different views of path name list, of the path name part, and of the condensing catalog view. Then we have seen how to filter both by search path names by strings or search path name by parts.
Sorry, could you put it in the presentation mode, please?
Yes, sure.
Yeah.
So we have seen search path name by strings. and again by parts. Then we have seen how to select our data, the buttons of the button about select, deselect, clear selection, and so on. We have seen how to quick select the records, how to select the multiple files. Then about after we selected the data, we have seen what we can do with this data, that we can do the plot and tabulate, we can copy, remerge, rename, merge, delete records, editing data, and manipulate data with mathematical functions. In particular, we have seen an overview of the toolbar, how it's structured. And about the plotting of the data, we have seen these three different type of plotting that are the plotting of a single record, then the plotting of multiple series in the same viewport. That is this case. Then we have seen the plotting of multiple series in different viewports. That's the case where we have different parameters to plot. For example, in this case, like for the flow and the precipitation. We've seen the zoom tool, how to do zoom in, zoom out, and look at the values in the text box. How to customize our plot based on what we want to show on the title, on the viewport, on the type of curve, labels, axis, and the legend, through the possibility to customize individual plot or do a template for our new plot. So this one was an example for how to change this view in the curves viewport, title, axis, legend, and so on for the plot. This was the result of our example we did yesterday. Then we have seen how to manage with the tabulate button. After selecting the data, we can see our table with the actual data and the possibility to view different type of option to select how to show the commas or the date with 4-digit years instead of 2, and how to show decimal places and so on. Then we can set the time window of the program. We can select only a small amount of time respected to the main time of the record itself. And then we have done an exercise about how to enter data into the DSS. We have seen how to enter time series data. This was the entry dialog box that have to be filled. Pay attention to the type of data you want to enter and select the right options in this box. So we have seen how to enter the regular interval time series. That's the main case for how to entering data, the most common. Then an irregular interval time series. We have seen an example. This one. Then we have seen how to enter a paired data entry, how to enter a paired data when we want to show two different parameters in the same curve, in the same graph. So this was the exercise, and basically this what the thing we have seen yesterday. So now I think we can start with the actual presentation of today for the second day of the HEC-DSS training, and I will let the floor to Federica that will train you for this second day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mika, you did very well yesterday and even today. And welcome with Federica. Thank you so much.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Federica, and now I will share a new presentation with the new topic of today. So day 2. So yesterday, essentially, you learned how to manage and organize the data in the DSS program, how to enter the data. Today, I'm gonna show you how to edit, modify, and do operations with the file you have in the DSS-Vue file. So in detail, we are going to see some utilities: duplicate, delete, rename, copy, or merge records. Then we are going to see how also to print, copy, and export data in different format, like PDF, image, table, and so on. Next, we are going to see how to edit the dataset, both in the tabular format and in the graphical format. And then we are going to see the math functions, which are some really useful tools available in the DSS-Vue program. And at the end, we are going to do little an exercise which summarize most of the utilities and application we are going to see through this morning. So let's start seeing the utilities. You can find the utilities command from the menu bar on top of the window. Under the voice edit, you can find the rename records, delete records, undelete, duplicate, copy to, and merge. Now we are going to see details each of one. So first of all, you should open the DSS file we shared with you that you also used yesterday, the one called DSS training. And so we are going to use this file to do some little exercise to show you the different applications. We split the screen like this so I can show you both the presentation. There are some little exercise that we prepared. So I'm going to explain with the presentation step by step what you can try to do. And then at the same time, I'm going to show you directly on the program. So I will do the exercise together with you. So let's see about the first command, the duplicate command. This one lets you duplicate a single record or multiple record. Let's see at first how to duplicate a single record. So you can essentially select one record and create a copy of this one in the same file you are using. So for example, let's try to select the record named like this one. You can see from the path name string, it's the one with the part A Atvara, the part B Atvara downstream Kashem Algirba Tem 1. This is a record of a flow with one of time step. If you select this one, and if you want to duplicate this one, you have to go to the edit menu and select duplicate. Otherwise, there is another way. You can just right click on the record, and this shortcut menu will suggest you some operation, and there is also the duplicate options. If you click duplicate, this dialog box will open, and you can duplicate the records, and you can change the part A, B, C, and F of this record, but you cannot change the D part or the E parts, because if you remember, the D part is the the time range of the data set. So when you are creating a copy, you cannot change the time range, because the time range of the copy will be exactly the same of the original one. And essentially the same things is also for the part E, which is the time interval. So if the original one has a time step of 1 month, also the duplicated one will have a 1 month time step. But you can change, for example, the part F to recognize the new one from the original one. So let's try, for example, to rename it with a copy. So when you are going to confirm this operation in your path name list, you will see now two dataset, two records with the same part A, B, C, D, E, and the only difference is the part F, so you can recognize which is the original one and which is the duplicated one. The duplication then can be done also with multiple records. So for example, let's try to do a filter. Let's select for the part A all the records with the part A equal to Atbara, and then with the part C equal to flow. So as you can see, we have 6 records of flow for the Atbara sub-basin. You can select all of them by clicking on the first one and drag down. Now, if you go as before from the edit menu and duplicate, the same dialog box will open. But in this case, for example, you see that the part B and part F have this star key, because you selected the different records which have different part B and part F. If you now change one of the part, the changing will be applied to all the duplicated records. So for example, let's try to substitute in the part F with duplicated. When you confirm, you will see that now in the path name list, you have one copy, one duplicated for each. So this new name has been applied to all the duplicated records. Another really useful command is to delete some records that you have in the file. So for example, try to delete all the records we just duplicated. So remove the filter we have set before, and we can put a new one, selecting from the part F only the records named duplicated. There are 5 records. You can select all of them, and from the edit menu, you can select delete records. Otherwise, there are also other 2 ways to delete records, which is simply right-click on the selected records and delete from here. Or you can just press the cancel key from the keyboard. Let's delete like this. Okay. And now if you check for the Atbara records, you see there is no more the one with the part F equal to duplicated. When you delete records, but you can also undelete them. So undoing the last operation you have done. From the edit menu, in fact, there is this undelete command, which let you to undelete all the record you have ever deleted in the session in the current section of this DSS file. Otherwise, you can select from the list of all the previously deleted path names, or you can undelete only the last the record deleted with the last operation. Let's try to do a short exercise. So, for example, let's select the records in the DSS file with the part A equal to main Nile and the part E equal to 1 month. So essentially we are going to select these 4 records about flow in the main Nile. Like before, let's delete them with the delete command you can find under the edit menu. I'll confirm the operations. And now maybe we want to realize that we needed these records and we want to have them back again. So from the edit menu, we can select undelete. Let's try to use the select command so you can see the list of all the previously deleted path name. And let's try to undelete only the one recorded at Nile at Tamaniat. So the part B equal to Nile at Tamaniat. From the list, you can recognize, you can just read the path name part, and in this case, try to undelete only these two, the Nile at Tamaniat, because as you have seen yesterday, it's one single record, but then with the path name listed view, the software save it a single record as multiple blocks. So in this case, these records have been split into 2 parts, one with the data of the 1980s and one with the part of 1990s. So if you want to bring back the whole records, you have to select these 2 blocks. So let's confirm the operation. And if you filter with the part A equal to main Nile and 1 month, as we did before, you see that now we have only this one, only the one we selected from the undelete menu. Let's try also to undelete the last deleted. So we are going to undelete all the records we deleted with the last operation. And in this case, we should obtain again all the records of the main Nile we deleted before. Let's try. Okay, in the menu, it will show you which path name part are you going to undelete. And if you confirm, okay, there is an error, but it undeleted correctly. And this is how to delete and undelete the records. Let's remove all the filters. Another useful command in the utilities menu is the rename records. And this command lets you to change the part A, B, C, or F of every path name. So, for example, let's try to, if you check for this path name records, the one at the Atbara. So the part A is Atbara, and the part B is the case at Yekila. We can use the filter to find it quickly. If you check out this one, for example, let's try to plot it. You see it's a record of the flow at the Atbara subbasin recorded at the Yekila hydro stations. These are the records of 3 years, but as you can see, there are some missing values. So it's a monthly register recordings, and there are some months missing from February to June. So maybe you want to keep in mind that this record is not complete. And you can, so for example, rename this record and add in the part F this comment. So let's try to do it. From the edit menu, you can select rename records. You have already selected the path name you want to change. So if you click rename, you can modify the part A, B, C, or F. So let's try to change the part F into not complete. If you confirm, you have the same data set with sorry, I typed it wrong. So I show you that also if you right click just on the path name, in this shortcut menu there is also the command rename, and I just it correctly. Okay. Okay, so in this way, maybe it can be useful to keep in mind some new information, or yeah, change if you type wrong some of the name, you can just rename later in the file. Okay, next utilities is the copy tool. This command let the user to copy the selected records in the current file into another one. So let's try to select, for example, the first one. Select, okay, this one, the original one. And again, from the edit menu, if you select copy to, a new dialog box will open. And from here, you can both select an existing file, an existing DSS file, or otherwise you can create a new one. So in this case, let's try to create a new one, a new DSS file called copy. And if you confirm, it will going to create a new DSS file called copy. And inside it, there will be this record copied into this one. So for example, let's try to open now this new file we have just created. If you click on the open tool from the toolbar, you can move inside just find the correct path where you have located this new file. In this case, I've already opened the correct folder, so I see immediately here my file, the copy.dss file I just created. I can open it, and as you can see inside this file, there is just the record we are just copied. And you can have you seen yesterday from here, you can see all the session open at this moment in your DSS session. So we have the DSS training file open and also the copy one. And you can switch from one to the other, just clicking on the name of it. Then another utilities is the merge file command, which is similar to the copy one, but in this case, this command will copy all of the records in the current opened file into another one. While with the copy, you can just select 1, 2, or some specific records. The merge file will copy all the records. And if you merge the records in another one in which there is one or more records with the same path name, they will be overwritten. So, for example, we open the copy.dss file. If you have not opened yet, you can open it using this open file button in the toolbar, and you can, as I already show you, you can switch from one file to the other file. Just click here from the main screen. Now in the copy DSS file, you can see there are two files here in the path name in file. You can check there are only two. Now we can try to merge the records of the DSS training file into the copy DSS file and check what happened. So let's go back to the file called DSS training, which is the one who has more records inside. You see there are 3,157 path names in this file. So now try to use the merge command. So in the edit menu, the file, click the merge. This dialog box will open, and from here you can select the file into which you want to copy all of the records. So in this case, let's select the copy file. Let's click open. Okay, the operation has been done really quickly. And now switch on the copy DSS file and just see what happened. Okay, now you can see nothing, but if you go to view, refresh catalog, it will just refresh. Okay, so now you can see there are all the records present also in the original file. You can see the path name in file now is 3,157, like exactly the same of the original one. So the merge command just copy all the records in another file, and the one which was already present in this file has been overwritten, because as you can see the path name in file is exactly the same in the two files. So pay attention if you merge some records in a file when you already have some records with the same name, because this will overwrite the records without saying you nothing. While with the command copy to, if you are copying records into another file in which there is already a record named the same, it will ask you, do you want to overwrite? And you can confirm or not this operation. Okay, the last one, utilities I want to show you for now, it's the squeezing command. This command removes all the inactive space which can have accumulated after deleting or after renaming records. And this command readjusts the internal HEC-DSS table size to optimize the access to the data. So, for example, if you have done many operations like we have done, if you copy, then delete, undelete, rename, some of the information will be still present in the file, and maybe it increases the file size. And so with the squeeze command, you can delete all this information which are not necessary anymore. But pay attention that once you squeeze a file, then all the records deleted cannot be recovered anymore. So for example, if you now go to the menu bar and select edit and delete from select, you see we have a list with some records we can still recover. Now we are going to use the squeeze command and let's see what happened. But before you use the squeeze command, I would like to highlight that now the file size is 11.48 megabytes. And after the squeezing, it should decrease. So let's try. The squeeze command is located under the tool menu. You can find it here. So in the menu bar, tools and squeeze. So let's squeeze this one. Okay. Now, in fact, the file size has decreased. It's 10.44. And if you try to undelete some record, you see there are no records in file available to undelete. So you cannot recover anymore any of the records you have deleted, for example. Okay, do you have any questions about this first part? If you have any, yes, feel free to stop me and ask me. Otherwise, I will go on with a new topic. Okay, if everything is clear, I can go on with a new topic, which is how to print, copy, and export data. All the data you have in a DSS file can be viewed with the tables and graphs, and you can also export them. Sorry, in different formats, like an Excel format, in a doc format, or different format of images. Okay, now we are going to see more about this. So, for example, the first thing you can be interested in is just to print a catalog list of which data do you have. So, for example, you can print just the list you can see here in your path name list with the command print or print preview, which you can find in the file menu. If you select this command, print properties dialog box will open, and from here you can set some option. You can choose, for example, some option about the page. You can choose the orientation. If you print in a portrait or in a landscape mode, you can set some scaling and a selection if you want to print the entire table or only some selected cells. You can also add a header or a footer, so you can type what you want to appear on your printed pages. And you can also add a table title. So let's try to do an exercise. We want to print the catalog list of all the data of the flow data we have for the Atbara subbasin, for example. So let's use the filter and select part A equal to Atbara. So we are going to see only the Atbara subbasin information, and part C equal to flow. Okay, now we want to print this catalog list to see only the records we have about the flow in the Atbara subbasin. So from the file menu, you can select print or print catalog or print preview. The only difference is that with the print preview, you will be able to see a preview, so you can check if the format is it okay for you just before confirming the print operation. So let's try with this one, with the preview. This is the window that will open. You can select many options. In this case, let's try to just change the table title instead of this, which is the path name of where is located the file. Let's put a title like Atbara Hydro Station. Stations. Okay. Now, if we click preview, we will see a little preview of what the print will be. Okay, if for example, in this case, I type wrongly, so let me do it again. Print catalog preview. I'll write again para station. Okay, preview. This time it is correct, so I click print to confirm these operations. And it will ask me to choose the printer, if you have a printer, or the PDF file you want to create. So in this case, if I select the Microsoft Print to PDF, when I confirm, it will ask me to save the file. I can select the position where I want to save the file, and I can give it a name. So I call it para Hydro Station. I save, and so now try to open this file you have just created. So move to the location where you have saved it and try to open the PDF. So here it is. It's just the catalog list of all the records we have about the flow in the Atbara subbasin, for example. Okay, so this was the first example of printing some information about the records we have. But then maybe we are interested in exporting the records in the tabular format. So let's select one of the record, and if you tabulate the selected record, then from the shortcut menu, you can click export, and a dialog box will open. You can select which is the field delimiter, and then you can export this table. It's a file without extension, so you can then open this file with many software like Excel, Word, or some note opener. So let's try to do this together. I select one record. I tabulate it by clicking the tabulate button from the toolbar, or otherwise you can tabulate from the display menu. Tabulate. Here is the tabulated record. From the file menu, you can select this export command. Here you can choose which is the file delimiter, the tab, space, comma, according to maybe which program are you going to use to deal with this record. Let's keep the tab, confirm, and again it asks you to give a name to this new file. Let's call it tabulate, and the file is without extension, so when you save it, then you can go to the file, and with the open with, you can select which program used to open the file. So let's try, for example, to open it with an Excel. And this is the results. So you can see it's exactly the table with the units, cubic meter per second, the type, so the per average, the period average value, the progressive number of the records, date and time, and the value. Here there is some maybe sometimes there can be some error because it depends on which options you have set in your PC. Because in the DSS file, the comma is used for the decimal number, while in my Microsoft Excel now I have the dot, so maybe this sometimes can create some errors. But it depends on the option you have in your PC. But then there is, I will show you, there is another way to export the data, which make you sure to have the data in the correct format. But first, let's try to open this one also with a Word file. So open with, and you can select, for example, the Word. And let's see, in this case, okay, it's similar to there is the tabulate, the tab, as we choose for the options, and here it's your data. Okay. Another way to export the table is just to copy it and then paste into another file. So let's select another one record, tabulate it, just clicking the tabulate button in the toolbar. If from the edit menu you select copy, this will copy all the values. So let's open, for example, a new Excel file and try to paste it. Okay, we obtain essentially the same things as before. Now there are only these heading informations that before weren't present. So you can see also the name, the specific name of the record. This is the part B of the path name list. This is the part C, so you can see this is a flow record, and this is the part F. So when you copy directly from the tabulate, you will have this more additional data. Close this file, or you can paste in the Excel file or in another program you want to have this data. But as I said you before, maybe this exporting the table in this way can make some mistakes with the comma, the dot, decimal number, the thousand number. So there is this other command. There is the tabulate in Excel button. You can find it in the toolbar menu. And if you use this one, if you select one or more records and then you select this button, an Excel file will automatically open. And in this case, the unit number will be for sure correct. So for example, I select the same one as before. I click the Excel button. And you see that now we use the dot for decimal number, which is the options, the default option in my PC. And I know this is for sure the correct one. And the structure is exactly the same as before. It specifies the part A, the part B, C, E, F. The part D is essentially the time range, and I can just check it from the data. If you select more than one record, you can do it. So for example, let's select this 3. If you click the tabulate in Excel button, you will have a different column, one for each record. And the rows are same. So the first row is always specifying the part A, and the second row is the part B. So you can recognize which column is, which record has which column. And this can be really useful then maybe to work with this data in an Excel file just to copy or use for other purpose. Okay, another way you can export data is in the graph format. So when you plot, if you select and plot one record, then with the print preview in the file menu of the graph window, you can export the graph. A window will open. If you press the print button to print, then you have to select the printer or the PDF file you want to create. So let's try with another one. I remove the filter. I, for example, want to print now the graph of a flow. So I can select from the C part precip inch, which is the format for the precipitation. So for example, let's select a record of precipitation for the Barroco-Bosobat subbasin. If you plot it by clicking the plot button from the toolbar or going to display and plot, this is the plot of the data. And from the edit menu, from the file menu, you can select print. And here you can select the printer or the PDF file. Now I just try to print it in a PDF format. So I confirm and I call it graph or plot. Okay. Let's save. And let's see what does it create. I open this plot PDF file, and this is exactly the plot we were looking at with the legend, the axis. If you want, you can modify the characteristic of the plot as you have learned yesterday, changing maybe the color, the line, the legend, And when you obtain the plot you want, you can print it and have it in a PDF format. You can also print multiple. You can also print multiple records. So if you select one record, you can plot it, then select, for example, a second one and plot it, a third one and plot it. You see I have a free plot now. If from one of these I can select print multiple, and here you can see there are the available records. I have 4 because I have already the previous one still open. So I can, for example, select all of them. So just double click on the records you want to plot. When you double click, they will move to this window, the selected plots. And then you can choose with these 2 buttons how to organize the plots in per page. So for example, you can choose to plot 2, one next to the other, 4, all the 4 in a row. In this case, we have 4 plots, so maybe let's try to plot like this, one next to the other, subdivided into 2 rows. Let's select print, print to PDF, and I call it plot multiple. Let's save. And now I show you what this file is. Okay, as we asked, we have the 4 plot located 2 per rows and so divided into 2 rows. This can be useful if you want to keep more plots all together, maybe to compare them. Okay, or otherwise we can would have like put all the 4 graphs just one below the other. You can choose with this command. And this was how to export the graph in a PDF format. Otherwise, you can also export and save the graph as an image. The operation is similar. You have to select one or more record, plot them, and then save as from the plots file menu. And here you can save it as an image and select which format do you prefer. So let's try, for example, to select one record. This time I want to, for example, to plot a flow data. So let's select the first one in the Atbara subbasin. I plot it. And then from the file menus, you can select save as. Here you can select the path where you want to save. I select the same folder where I'm working, so this one. Trainings. I put name, this one, let's call graph, and you can select the format, for example, the JPG or PNG. Let's say this time with the JPG format. Let's save, and I can find it in my folder. This is the image, and let's see, it's the graph in a JPG format. Okay, so that was all the options you have to export the plot. Now let's see how to edit the data. The first operation I will show you is how to edit the data in the tabular format. So if you have one record, you can select it, tabulate the record, and then from the table you can edit the value of the records by clicking the allow editing command from the edit menu. In this case, when you check this option, the allow editing button, all the not editable cells will change to a gray color, while the white cell will be the ones you can modify. So let's try to select one record. I tabulate, clicking on the tabulate button. This is the table with all the records shown. From the edit menu, you can turn on this option, allow editing. And as you can see, the first two columns change to gray because you cannot change it. While you can change all the values in the last column. So you can change both the single records, but also you can change the units and the type. And then there are multiple ways of you can choose to edit the records. You can copy, cut, and paste some selected cells from either the menu or the shortcut menu. You can clear values, you can modify values, or you can also insert some new values manually or paste it from other external file. So for example, I can cut the first free value of the record. From the edit menu, I can select copy, and then maybe I can just paste in the next free cell. So again, from the edit menu, I can select paste. And as you can see, the first three values now are repeated also in the next rows. Or I can cut them. So from the edit menu, cut and paste maybe also in the next. Again, from the edit menu, paste. In this case, if I cut the value, the first three rows will have some missing values, and then they will not be shown, for example, when you plot the data. But you can also modify it manually. So if I double click in the cell, then I can put a value manually with the keyboard. Like this. I can put the value I want. The same operation of cut, copy, and paste can be done not only selecting it with the edit menu, but I can also select the cell and with the right click use the shortcut menu, and there are still the cut, copy, paste, and clear options. The clear one will just delete the value. So let's try with this blue one. The clear just cancel the value, and the cell will be empty. Another thing you can do is copy some values from another file. So, for example, let's if you have I close the Excel file, but okay, never mind. If we try to We export this one in the Excel and just copy some values from a file. So as an example, maybe you have new values of the record. You can cut them, copy with create copy or with Ctrl+C. And if you have copied some values from an external file, then if you okay, if you select a cell, you can paste the value. You see, now I've copied this new value. Another things you can do is to insert, append, or delete some rows. And then there is also a command to sum the selected cell or sum the entire column. Let's see first how to insert, append, or delete the rows. When you are in the allow editing mode, you can select from edit the option insert rows. In this case, this dialog box will ask you if you want to insert some rows at the beginning of the record. So you can add some rows just before the starting date you have now, or if you want to append them. So in this case, some new rows will be added at the end of the records. So let's try maybe to add 5 rows at the beginning. If I confirm, you see we have now 5 more values we can add. This data set was monthly data, and it started in December of 1988. So adding 5 rows, I essentially add 5 months. So from July to November of the 1988, and I can put some values here. The same thing can be done also at the end of the records. So from the edit menu, if you select insert rows, you can append some new rows at the end. So let's try again to add 5 rows at the end. And let's see. Now we have this new 5 record we can insert. This maybe can happen if you have a data set, a record of something, and maybe you want to update with some new values, more updated. Another useful command is the sum cells or the sum entire column. So if you just right click on the column with the data, you can select this one, sum entire column, and in this case it shows it this window will show you the sum of all the values located in the column, so the sum of all the value of the record, or otherwise you can select some specific cell and get the sum of this cell. So for example, if I want to know the total flow for maybe 1 year, I can, for example, select all the month of the year 1989. So for example, let's start from January. I select the month until December. I right click and I can get easily the sum of the flow for the whole year. Okay, let's go on with another way to modify the dataset. When you do some modification on the dataset, you can then decide if you want to save or not the dataset. If you click yes, the modification will be apply to the dataset and you are going to overwrite the dataset. Otherwise, you can, from File, click Save As, and maybe change, for example, the part F, like putting modified, and in this case, you will have both the original one and both the modified one. Okay, another way to modify data is the Edit in Excel file. This option lets you to modify the dataset record directly in Excel format. If you select one or more record, you can select from the Edit menu, Edit in Excel, and an Excel file will open, and you can modify the values from the file. So let's try to do it. If you select a record, Edit in Excel, an Excel file opens. You can modify some values here. You can maybe delete something. You can like doing some operation as you want. Then you have to save the Excel file. Let's try to put 0 in all the first row. You have to save the Excel file, close it, and then go back to the DSS file. Click OK after you have saved the Excel file. And now, if you, for example, tabulate again the data, you see we have all the 0 value that I just modified. This can useful to modify directly in Excel because maybe in Excel there are some function options more powerful that you can use, and when you just save it and close, all the modification will be applied also to the dataset record in the DSS file. Then another way to edit the data is not from the tabulate format, but from the graphical one. There is this graphical edit button located in the tool menu, and this lets you to edit the time series in a combined plot and table. When you select one record and you click this graphical editor button, an editable plot of the data will open. A window will open, and you will see an editable plot of the data on the top of the window, while on the bottom of the window there will be a scrollable table of the data like this. Let's open also one directly from the DSS. Let's open. In this case, I want to select this one, the one we renamed with not complete. So then we will be able to see also something more. This is the window. So there is the plot here and a table in the bottom part of the window. As you can see here, you can see the name of the selected dataset. While in the plot, you have this green area that highlights you which row of data are you looking at. So if you move in the table, you will see that this green area will move according to which rows are you looking at. And if you select a specific row, the red line will show you the exact location of the values that you selected. Here on the left part, there are some buttons. The first one is the selected point tool. So it allows you to just click also in the graph. You can select the point. There is a zoom button, which essentially works as the one present in the zoom in the plot. So you can drag to zoom and right click to zoom out. Then there are these two buttons, which are the edit point and the edit curve that we are going to see in a bit. The table here down, it's subdivided into 4 columns. The first one is just indicate the date and time of the records. Then there is the original dataset, the second column. The last one is the revised dataset, so the one you are going to save with the modified values. And the middle column is the estimate dataset. It's the only one in with a white color because it's the only one you can edit, and you can edit it using also this button located on the right part that now we are going to see. The first 3 buttons are the estimate ones. The first, the estimate button, lets you to generate a linear interpolation for the selected rows for the missing data, or it just copies the original data into the editable field if the value are not missing. So for example, let's do an example. If I select the first 3 rows and I click estimate, it will just copy the values from the original dataset into the estimate dataset because the value are available and it just copy it. If I select some cell with a missing value in the original dataset and I click estimate, nothing will happen because you have to select an interval of cells with a first value and another one, last value. So in this case, if you click the estimate, it will linearly interpolate from the first available value to the last one. And you can see the preview of the estimate dataset in the plot, which is showed with these pink triangles, while the original one is plotted with a red line and the revised one is plotted with a blue one. In this case, the original and the revised one are still the same, so they perfectly overlap and you cannot recognize them. And now we are going to make some modification. You will see the comparison between the original and the revised. So the estimate just copy the original data if they are present, or do a linear interpolation for the missing data. The estimate missing do a linear interpolation of the missing values for all the rows in the table. So for example, here down there is another one missing value. If I do not select nothing and I click estimate missing, it will automatically do an interpolation also for this one. If you want to cancel, no, first let's finish with this one. The estimate all is the same button as estimate, but it does for all the rows in the table. So if I click estimate all, let's click 2 times. As you can see, it just made a linear interpolation for the missing value and copy the other values when available in the original dataset. If you want to cancel delete the value and go back to the original one, you can go to Edit, Restore Original Data, and refresh the catalog. Are you sure to want yes? Okay, in this way, you will obtain the estimate data blank. Okay, let's do a little exercise. So let's select one record. I just keep this one I have already selected. Click on the graphic edit button to open this window if you haven't done it yet. Then let's try to use this two button. Let's try first with the single point edit tool. In this case, you can modify some single points. So for example, I want to make this peak higher. So I can double click here and as you can see, it estimates a new value for this specific time in the window. If I click accept in this selected row, it will change the plot of the revised dataset. You can do it for multiple points. Maybe I want to change this one, something like this. If I click accept all, in this case, I will accept all the three new values. And here I can see the new data set I'm working on. The curve edit button lets you to estimate new values just drawing a curve. So maybe I want to complete these missing values. I can just draw a curve. So I select the curve edit tool and I click to create the curve I want. Then right click to stop. And here you see there are these new value. I can accept them, and this is the new estimated dataset. If you are okay with this modification, you can accept all the modification and then save or save as. The first one just overwrite the old records, while this one, the save as, let you save a new record. So let's try, for example, to save it. Just adding a note, which is the modified file. So now I have these two records. I can plot it, and they are the not complete and the one I try to complete. Okay, in the presentation, this was an example similar to the one we have done. Then another useful things you can do is to select more than one record and then modify one per time, but using the others as comparison data. So for example, if I select these two records, the one not complete and the one I just modify, I can select both of them and click the graphical editor button from the toolbar. And here in the selected dataset, I can choose which one I want to modify. So I select this one, but still I can see the other one. The green one was the original one, so I can change it, just viewing at the same time the other one and use it as a comparison data. Okay, if everything is clear, we can move to another topic, which are the math function. But if you have any question, just let me know. Okay, if there are no questions, let me see. Someone. Okay. Okay, so let's start talking about the map functions, which is a very useful tool available in the DSS-Vue software. The math functions are available from the tool menus or the math function toolbar button, and are organized into 6 categories: arithmetic, general, time function, hydrologic, smoothing, and statistics. And each category is a tab on the math function screen. So, for example, if I select one record, I can click the math function button from the toolbar. This is the menu you can see, and there are these 6 tabs: arithmetic, general, time function, smoothing, which let you to select different options and different functions that now we are going to see more in detail. The first one is the arithmetic functions, which contains a lot of function. Some of the very basic arithmetic functions, so add, subtract, multiply, divide. Then there is something a little more complex: the exponentiation, absolute value, square root, log e, log base 10, sine, cosine, and other function. To use them, you have just to select one or more record you want to modify. Then you select the arithmetic tab from the general menu. You can select then from the menu of the operator the one you want to use, and you have to insert the required values for each function. Let's try, for example, to use one of the arithmetic function. So let's select a record, a precipitation record maybe. So I select from part C Redshift inch, and I select, for example, the first one. It's a record of precipitation from the Era 5 satellite information. I select this one and I click the math function button, and I keep the arithmetic tab, and from the operator I select the add in this case. For the add function, you have to specify a constant, so a value that will be added to all the records, all the value of the records. Let's try to add 5 to all the precipitation record of this data set. Let's click compute, and then save as, and file save as, or otherwise you can click this button. I rename it, just putting in the F part a node +5, so I know it's the one with the modified values. I click OK. And then I try to plot the one I just modified and the original one, just to see if it will work correctly. I plot this one. And yeah, as you can see, all the values have been shifted of 5. You can see also from the tabulate. So in this case, yeah, the format of this column, this is the original one and this is the modified one. Maybe I do not like very much the format of this value, but you can just change from the view menu, show decimal places, and maybe I put 3 decimal numbers for all the records. Okay, so I can more easily compare the two. And you see when the value is 0, I added 5, so it becomes 5. If I have 0.001, it becomes 5.001, and so on. Okay, now let's see another kind of math functions, which is the general functions. This tab contains different functions like the unit conversions, the set units, set type, round to nearest whole number, truncate whole number, round off, estimate missing values, replace specific values, screen using maximum and minimum, screen using forward moving average, merge time series, merge pair data, and generate data pairs. So there are a lot of different functions also for this option. As before, if you want to use one of these functions, you have to select one or more record, then select the function from the drop-down menu, choose the one you want, and then insert the required values. Let's see one of them, for example, if I select math function, let's see a little bit, for example, the unit conversions let you to change the units from the international system to the English one. As you can see, now I have selected one data set, which is in the international units. So if I click convert to SI, here below you can see there is no dataset to convert because it's already in this unit format. But if I select convert to English here in the window of the available dataset to convert, you can see there is the dataset I selected. So if I click compute, it will convert this one into the new units. And this was about the general function. Now let's see the time functions, which contains a lot of function that will modify the time characteristics of your dataset. So if you go here from the operator, you see there are many options. The minimum, maximum, average over a period, the copying time, shifting time, change time interval, irregular to regular, the regular to irregular, and say regular to regular using pattern, extract time series. So there are a lot of options also in this case. Let's see, for example, the first one, the minimum, maximum, average over a period. In this case, Also for this one, there are many other options. From the function type, you can select to, for example, interpolate at the end of a period. You can select the maximum for a period, the minimum for a period, the average over a period, accumulation, or the volume for a period, integration, or number of valid data over a period. For example, let's explain a little bit about them. The maximum, minimum, and average over a period will essentially calculate respectively the maximum, minimum, and the average value of a new period interval. So for example, if you are working with a precipitation dataset which have a daily record, you maybe can use the maximum for like 1 month, and it will automatically calculate the maximum value for every month of the dataset for the minimum value or the average value in the new period selected. Let's try to do an exercise with the accumulation function. So let's select one of the records of the precipitation. So with the filter part C, you can easily keep all the records of the precipitation. I select in this case maybe one of the Blue Nile subbasin. Let's see this plot. Okay, it covers like more than 50 years. And okay, let's do an accumulation with this record. I click the math functions button. Then I move to time function tab. I keep minimum, maximum, average over period in the operator menu, and I select from the function type the accumulation over period. The original records was 1 day time interval. Now I want to do the accumulation over 1 year. So in the new period interval, select 1 year. If you click compute, it will calculate the new data set, and if you click save as, it will automatically change the part E into the new time interval and keep the other part the same. So that's okay. I confirm. Okay, here there is the new data set with the 1 year and the original one with 1 day. So let's try to plot them. As you can see, it keeps the daily data. It makes a sum, an accumulation, and gives back the accumulation for every years. So we can see that more or less the accumulation of the rain of this station is something about 1,700 millimeters per year. Let's try to do this also accumulation with an accumulation over 1 month. So select the original dataset, the one with the 1 day time step. Click the math function. Go to time function tab. The operator keep the minimum, maximum, average over period. Select from the function type the accumulation over period, and let's do it with 1 month. compute, and save. In the part E now you can see there is 1 month. This is automatically set by the program. Okay, and now try to compare the 3 dataset in a plot. This is the daily, the accumulation over a month, and the accumulation for every year. We can check tabulating it that, for example, the first column is the original dataset, so with a daily time step. The second one is the monthly, the accumulation over the month, and the last one is the accumulation over 1 year. So, for example, let's check if this 21.475 is the exact accumulation of the month of January in 1972. You can select all the cells of the month of January, right click, and as I showed you before, you can click this sum selected cells, and as you can see, the cell is exactly the sum, so the accumulation of the month. Okay, we can do.
Sorry to interrupt you, Federica. We will try to stick with the time, since it's I think we have reached a good point in our training, so we can if you have first any question, please tell us. Otherwise, we will see in the second part of today. Do someone has any question? Okay, I see one question. Please, Zerihuna Ambeza.
Yeah, this is not just a question, a small reminder. So I posted a link for collecting the participants list of yesterday's training. Please, those of you who did not complete the form, go ahead and complete it. And later on, I'll post the link for today's participant list. So before going out for break or lunch, please try to complete it. It just takes a couple of minutes. If you don't find the link, I will again share it in the comment section. Thank you.
Okay, great, thank you. So in case you can also ask us some question at the beginning of the next hour. So I think we can go to a break, and we will see at 2 p.m. for the next part of the session. So thank you, and see you later in 1 hour at 2 p.m.